If you have been asked what the next 5 years would be for you, I'm very sure you would come up with the most amazing things and say the most amazing things like the next 5 years I would have gotten to this place, in the next 5 years I would be here, in the next 5 years I will be there. Or what if your reality doesn't match all that you have said or all that you have envisioned of all that you have imagined? What then? Would you then start feeling like a failure, or would you start feeling like probably life is fair to them and not fair to you? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, to our channel rather. My name is Precious Uzoigwe, and if you're a new subscriber, an old subscriber, or you're just stopping by, welcome. Today we are going to be talking about a topic that's a bit personal. I've had this topic for a while now, but I keep procrastinating. But today I finally decided to just dive into it. And the topic is what I thought 5 years would be versus what 5 years actually is. If you had asked me 5 years ago, what do you think you would have achieved by now? I would mention a whole lot of things. I would have gotten my own apartment, be living alone, be done with school, get that dream. I've never been the type that I've actually believed I would work for somebody, but I will tell you stuff like I would have gotten my own space, gotten my own thing going on for me, da 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 da, and all those good stuff. But it feels like what I thought and envisioned is totally different from what I can see now. And still, I do not feel like a failure. And this is why I said so. One of the very first thing I would always say, and I keep saying, is that when it comes to success, it is very important that you define to yourself what success means to you. Society has a way it defines success. Yeah, society has a way to define success, and therefore if you follow society's way of defining success to define your own success, you will always feel like a failure. You will feel like you can never amount to anything. You will ever always feel like you are not doing enough. You always feel like you're not putting much effort, which is not actually true. That is why it is very important to define success to yourself and know what success really means to you. And when I say define success, I don't mean the political way of defining success where you say stuff like me doing everything that God wants me to do, me being da 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 da. No, I mean a practical definition of success. What will success really mean to you? If they say you are successful today, what does it mean to you? Is it about driving the most expensive cars, wearing the most expensive wig, or what exactly will it mean to you? Because if you cannot define success to that level, believe me, you will look at your mates, especially now, the social media era, whereby you see youths of nowadays, whereby they are doing big things for themselves. You see at the age of 23, the person owns a car, owns her own apartment, business flourishing, da 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 da. I remember a few weeks back, I think it should be over a month or so or plus now, where I came across a particular lady's video where she was saying that she started this business over 4 years now and it feels like the business is not being fruitful. And then she was comparing herself with a particular influencer which was actually doing really well because she just started her business, and I don't think it's over a year, and the business was really booming. And when I went to the comment section, one of the very first things I saw people actually stated out, which was actually true, but also there are also other points, which is they said, why would you ever compare yourself with an influencer? Why would you ever compare yourself? It's this particular person. Why would you ever compare? Because it doesn't make any sense. Yes, it doesn't make any sense, but I get where she's coming from. But I also get where the person that left that comment is also coming from. It is very important you define to yourself what success really means to you. It is very important. If not, you look at other people outside and say that life is fair to them and life is not. Another thing you need to understand is that paths are different. What God has in stock for A is absolutely different from what God has in stock for B. Just because they are close by doesn't mean it's the same thing. Just because they are close by doesn't mean it's going to be the same path. And our paths, the way our faces are different, is the same way our desires are different, the same way our paths are different. Comparing yourself with somebody else is not going to make it easier for you. You are just wasting your time because you are just putting yourself on unnecessary pressure. And we always have this way of putting ourselves on this pressure. And I always say this thing, it's not exactly about the pressure that we receive outside, it's about the pressure that we put on our own selves that actually hits harder. Parts are different. Your part is absolutely different from the other person's parts. And one of the things that have actually helped me when it comes to parts and processes is this instance, the instance of mango and maize. Just because they have both start with doesn't mean that they are the same thing. Doesn't mean that they are the same fruit. Doesn't mean they function the same way. Doesn't mean they give the same benefits. It will take 3 months for maize to grow, and will take almost 3 years for mango to grow. But guess what? You see, when mango grows, it grows. And when I mean it grows, even if you cut it down, it's still going to grow up again. Yeah. And when the season comes for it, you don't have to start replanting mango. But you see, maize, whenever the season comes, you have to start tilling the ground again, planting the seed, wetting, and doing all those processes. Whenever maize season comes, you have to redo it. But you see, when mango season comes, it just start bringing forth its fruits. Like automatically, just start bringing forth its fruits. Parts are different, and that is the same when it comes to our parts. Our fruits are different. What God wants us to do part time are different. If you can understand that God is the beginning and the end, meaning He has gone to my future and came back from my future, and know how my future is being written, and know what is going to happen, believe you me, you will stop stressing yourself and stop this whole comparison of a thing. The reason why you have to work in your own part is for you to gain the knowledge you're supposed to gain. Believe me. You see, when it comes to parts, when you work on your own part, you understand why some things has to be some things. I'm sure you have heard instances of people say stuff like all these rich people, when they say stuff like, if I go broke today, I know what to do to get back all the wealth. That's because they had a part, and they worked through that part faithfully. And during that period of working through that part, they learned some particular things they were supposed to learn. They learned patience, they learned endurance, they learned focus, they learned integrity. There are some people today, if they go broke, they have gone broke. You know why? Because they don't even know where to start from again. And that is because they do not have a process. They do not have a path. They wanted to rush it. In fact, some of them rushed it. That's me being honest with you. Some of them rushed it. Do not rush your own path. You are not rushing, you are working on your own path. You are working on it. Another thing is, and I keep saying, confession. Confession brings about possession. What have you been confessing to yourself? What have you been confessing to yourself? Oh, I'm a failure. I can't make it in life. Look at my mates. They have gone ahead of me. You keep saying that. You keep saying that. See, your confession has a way of arming you or disarming you. Yes, he has a way of arming you or disarming you. What have you been saying? What comes out from your mouth? What do you think about when you think about yourself? It is very, very important that you pay attention to those things, because if you don't, you will keep feeling like a failure. Confession creates a consciousness in us, a consciousness that we might not be able to see, but is there. A consciousness that you might not know, but is there. A consciousness that when it is time for it to play out, it will play out effortlessly. Have you ever been in a state whereby you do some things and you're like, let me do this thing. After you're done with it, you're like, let me do this thing. I don't believe say let me do this thing. It has been there. The consciousness has been there. The opportunity has not yet played out. The moment the opportunity meets that consciousness that have been there, it will play out, and it will play out well. That's because you have been confessing the right words. You want to possess the right things, start confessing the right words. It is very, very easy for you to get distracted, especially in this present generation, whereby social media has made you feel like, if I don't have this, if you don't have that, if you don't do this one, don't do that one. But if you keep using that pressure there and then saying negative things to yourself, you are doing yourself more harm than good. Because if you ask those people that are there, they will tell you, I would always tell myself this, I always tell myself that, I always tell. Even your fellow influencers, one particular person that I know always says this particular thing I'm talking about confession, has to be Francis Theodore. Francis always says it. FT, she always says it. You are that person, you are that girl, you are that girl. Stop saying this to yourself, stop saying that to yourself. Because anything you say to yourself, there's one word I always tell people: your words create your world. Your words create your world. Another one that hit me really hard was one that my pastor said. He said, your words create your work. Your words create your work. Anything you are seeing that is working now, that is playing out, is a function of your words. Is a function of your words. Yeah. The moment you start paying attention to what you always say, to things around you, to yourself, to everything in general, things start to change for you. That's the truth. Another thing, another point why I do not feel like a failure upon the first 5 years is different from the reality is advantage. I understand that some of the advantage that those people out there have is not the same advantage I have. See, you see those people that you are looking at out there, some of them are from fourth generational, third generational, second generational wealth. Their fathers have money, then their father now have money, automatically they have money. You get? Exactly. Fourth generational, third generational, second generational wealth. And they had more advantage. They saw things. They had more clarity. You are starting from scratch. How dare you compare your life with somebody that have that much advantage? Whenever I say how dare you, people are like, huh? But yes, that's the truth. How dare you compare your life? You that you're trying to start from scratch, you are trying to break generational curses, you are trying to work hard, trying to take care of your family, trying to take care of people around you. You're comparing your life with somebody that the father have money. See, I hope you know that money makes things faster. You see those people out there that have already made the money. If their kids come to them and says, Daddy, I want to start a business, I need about 10 million. They'll ask them, is the 10 million going to be enough? They'll say yes. They will not say, okay, I give you 15 million. For extra expenses, the 5 million. You want to start a business. Can you go to your father and your mother? Even if you can go to them, the resources they would give you might not even be enough to compare to the thing you want to do. So how dare you now? I'm still repeating that question. How dare you compare your life with somebody like that? You need to understand that those people have more advantage for you than you. But yes, your greatest advantage is having God in your life, believing in the promises He has for you, the plans He has for you, which is also bringing about my next point, my next point is God. See, in the beginning, in the end, in the middle is God. You cannot escape it. You know, in this present generation, everybody wants to take glory to their, oh, I worked for this, I did this, I put in the work. In the beginning and to the end is God. That's the truth. No man can make wealth or no man can make riches without God being truly involved. Except you are going to the devil to go and collect it. And you know what the devil does? If you think the devil is giving you, is a lie. The devil is stealing for you because he brings the future here and then steals your future. He gives you the future now and then steals the future. That's the truth. God is your overall advantage. And there's one thing that my pastor taught us then. Any single time I even find myself, I catch myself worrying. That's one of the very first things. I still did it today. He said, whenever it comes to your consciousness that God has promised me this thing, God has said He will do this in my life, I would go to these places, I would do this thing. How would this thing be? He said, by my God. By my God, all these things will be. It will not be by my power. It will not be by my ability. It will not be by my hard work. So if you, at this present point in time, are still thinking that it will be by my strength, you have failed it. You have failed it. You have failed woefully, because nothing will be by your strength. Nothing will be by your ability. If you would ever make that wealth that you want to make, if you ever want to be prosperous, like you want to be prosperous, it will be by God. Even the Bible say, He knows the thought He has towards you. Do you know what it means? Somebody is thinking of you. That's thought He has towards you, of good and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Some translations say a prosperous end. I hope you understand that when they say prosperous end, prosperity is more than just money, physical wealth. I have a house, I have cars, I have wigs. I have all these flashy things. I hope you understand that prosperity is more than that. Prosperity covers all the good stuff. You see, when the Bible say the blessings of the Lord make it rich and added no sorrow, that's what it was talking about. Make it rich and added no sorrow. So if you are thinking of the blessings and the prosperity of God, that's what it was truly talking about. So if you're thinking you're going to make wealth, oh, by your strength, you failed it. You failed it. You failed it. And I hope with this few points of mine, I've been able to convince you, to confuse you. Why I do not ever believe I am a failure. And I do not think I'm a failure. Because if I have and I understand all these few things so far, how will you not tell me that I'm a failure? Just because 5 years did not come to what 5 years? Because I'm going to say this out here. I'm about to do the next 5 years of my life. I'm about to clock a new age in the next few weeks. So I'm about to do the next 5 years of my life. And these are the consciousness that has built me and that have helped me so far in these first 5 years of my life. As my 20, da 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 da. I'm sure you are getting the hint, small, small. Yeah, so these are the things that have helped me in these first 5 years. So just in case you are out there and you are saying, no, I always said I would be this and I would be that. I'm not all those things now. Why is my life like this? It feels like life is more fair to them. It's not fair to you. Really need to snap out of that consciousness and start confessing the right words to yourself and start telling yourself the right words. And when I say confessing and saying the right words to yourself, I'm not saying it like it's going to be easy. There are days that are going to be really hard for you to say it. There are days that are going to be really difficult, but you would remind yourself that this is who I am. This is what the word of the Lord has said I am. This is what God has promised me, and nobody can change God's mind for me. One of the things I always say to myself is that God will not give my own to another person. I will not give another person one to me. So if you trust God enough for that and put in the work at the same time, listen to his instructions and put in the work, believe me, the next 5 years is going to be mind-blowing. So stay true to your course, just like I already said. Define what success truly means to you. Work on your own part, because as our face differs, so does our desires, so does our path differs. Confess the right words to yourself. Confess the right words to yourself. Know that your advantage is God. The advantage is their parents have made the name, they have made the money, they have made everything, they're just working in it. Your own advantage is God, and trust in the Lord. I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince you and not to confuse you that I don't feel like a failure, even if my thought of next 5 years is absolutely different to what the reality is, because I know that what God has in store for me is bigger, greater, mightier for me. And I hope that you also take one or two lessons out of this video. Just like you already know it, my name is Precious Uzoigwe, and please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Cheers.